Good evening. Good evening. How's everybody doing? Reverend Sherman D. Manning joining you live from Los Angeles, California. This is the day which the Lord hath made. I shall rejoice and be glad in it. It is a great day to be alive and in the land of the living one more time. I am the proud pastor of Yes We Can Worship Center. Yes We Can Worship Center is located at 5857 South Central Avenue, Suite 180, Los Angeles, California 90011. Listen. Do me a favor, if you can you call somebody who can call somebody who will call somebody else and tell them to tell P.Diddy to listen to this podcast. I need him to hear this one. I need him to hear this. This is not for me. This is for the people. I'd like for P.Diddy to hear this. I'd like for Lee Daniels to hear this. Listen, I'm just a small-time itinerant preacher from Atlanta, Georgia, that God gave a vision. And if you were to go on to YouTube and look at some of the videos that we've done, everybody that sees them, the few people who have seen them, including Dr. R.A. Williams, who was the prominent pastor of the McCoy Memorial Baptist Church in Los Angeles. Legendary Dr. R.A. Williams said to me the other day, Reverend Manning, nobody is doing what you're doing. I'm a preacher that goes out on the streets on a daily basis, and I get homeless people, and I bring them in, and I take them out to eat, and I buy them clothing, and then I carry them to church with me, because these are the unchurched, and the Jesus that I serve said it is those who are sick that need the doctor, not those who are well. I'm not knocking anybody else's church. I go to a lot of churches, a lot of humongous churches, mega churches. I love them. I love worshiping and praising God. I love doing the holy dance and all that other good stuff that we do. I love that. But I also love the fact that Jesus said in St. Matthew chapter 25 that I was hungry and you fed me not. I was in prison and you visited me not. And the disciples said, when did we see you hungry or in prison? And he said, inasmuch as you've done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it also unto me. That's St. Matthew chapter 25. God has given me a ministry for the least of these, my brethren. And I know why some other big shot preachers don't do this kind of work. If you want me to keep it real and be authentic with you, this is hard work. I ain't lying to you. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just keeping it real, baby, being authentic and prophetistic. This is hard work. It is difficult working with homeless people for a lot of different reasons. Number one, oftentimes they don't show up. They don't do what they say they're going to do. It's just difficult. It's difficult. And one of the reasons that they don't show up is because they're unstable. You know, the definition of homelessness is to be unstable. And so when you're unstable, a lot of times they'll tell me that they're coming to church, but they don't come unless I personally bring them myself. And our church doesn't have a van yet. We don't have a bus yet. It's difficult work. Some of them are strung out on drugs, trying to get them cleaned up, trying to get them jobs. It ain't easy, baby. It is difficult work. But it's work that God has given me, and I enjoy doing it. I encourage anybody, please go to YouTube and just look up Sherman D. Manning, and you will see the work that I'm doing with homeless brothers and sisters. It is hard work, but I love doing it. It is wonderful work. It is rewarding work. It is great work. I love these people. These are God's people. And this kind of vision was planted into me years ago when I worked with Reverend Hosea Williams in Atlanta, Georgia. And anybody can Google Reverend Hosea Williams. He had the largest Feed the Hungry program in the nation in Atlanta, Georgia. And I never knew that when I worked with him, when I was basically carrying his briefcase as a kid and following him around the city of Atlanta, Georgia, that one day I would be doing the same kind of work in some sense that he was doing. And I remember everybody used to always say love Jose or hate Jose. One thing we can say about him is he loved those homeless people, and he will feed those hungry people. I hope to develop half the reputation that he had, and if I can do so, I will do a great work for the Lord. P. Diddy, if you're listening, if anybody close to P. Diddy is listening, if anybody close to Lee Daniels is listening, listen, I want to build a transition home, several of them actually, especially for these women who have children and they're homeless. I already know you've already given to charity. You're already involved with several projects. You've already given millions. I know what P. Diddy will do because I was at the Ladylike Foundation with him in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills, rather, approximately 3.5 months ago, when the great woman of God, Leah Plump, I think her name is, she is the founder of the Ladylike Foundation, was trying to raise $100,000, and P. Diddy was kind enough and Christian enough to come down and write a check for $100,000 for her foundation. So I know what Diddy would do, and I know everybody's already extended, and everybody is already doing a whole lot of things. Whatever you're doing or not doing, my prayer is that miraculously some of you will begin to write checks to Yes We Can Worship Center to help us in our outreach. If you can send a check for $50,000, send it. We need it. If you can send a check for $5,000, send it. We need it. If it is a check for $500, send it. We need it. Just make your check payable to Yes We Can Worship Center, 5857 South Central Avenue, Suite 180, Los Angeles, California, 90011. Look us up on Facebook or Google us, and our address will come up. Anytime you see South Central Avenue with Yes We Can, that is us. I just want to do God's will. I just want to do God's work. And I can't do it without help. I need some people to help me to do this work. A lot of the people I bring into my church are poor people. And so they don't have the kind of money that it takes to mobilize this kind of operation. If they had that kind of money, they probably wouldn't need me. And so I want to be a blessing to them. I want to speak Jesus into their life in a practical and in a pragmatic way. We're helping guys who are coming out of jails and guys who are coming out of prison. And let me tell you something. When guys go to prison, we should not forget them. We should not abandon them. And I'm talking about for selfish reasons now. I'm not talking about just out of the kindness of your heart. I'm not even talking about just as a Christian. Just as a pragmatic move. You ought to understand that when a guy goes to prison and sits there and sits there and sits there, he becomes tougher, meaner, and slicker. And when he gets out of prison, he'll go back to jail quicker, and he'll go back for reoffending, and his crimes will begin to graduate. He'll move from petty theft to residential burglary. He'll move from residential burglary to armed robbery. He'll move from that to mess around and get perverted in prison and institutionalized and come out raping people and molesting children. We have got to intervene and help these guys when they get out to not go back again. Somebody has to care for them. Somebody has to preach Jesus to them. Somebody's got to love them too. That's somebody's child. That's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's son. Maybe the reason they got in trouble in the first place is because they didn't know who they were. Because when people know who they are, they don't tend to use crystal meth and crack. Oh God, I feel good tonight. Maybe we talk about having high self-esteem. Perhaps they did not have high self-esteem because they did not know the self that they needed to esteem. If you don't know who you are, how can you have esteem for a person you don't know? What? What? How can you have esteem for a self that you don't know? Somebody's behind me blowing the horn like a fool. I don't know who it is. How can you have esteem for a self that you don't know? This is live podcasting, y'all. I'm sorry. And so somebody has to care for them. Someone has to love them. Someone has to give to them. And I don't know if it's not you, if it's not me, I don't know who it's going to be. But I do know that we can get the victory tonight. If we care about these people, if we love them, if we give to them, if we open up doors for them, if we give them a hand up, not necessarily a hand out. And so that is what I want to do. I need help. Somebody get to P. Diddy. I assure you that the P. Diddy that I met at the Beverly Hilton 3 months ago, if he knows about Yes We Can Worship Center, he writes a check. I assure you that if Lee Daniels knows about Yes We Can Worship Center and the work we're doing, he writes a check. Please let them know about our church and the great work that we are trying to do and the great work that we are doing. Send them the video. Email them the podcast. Let them listen to it. I don't want an autograph. I'm not starstruck or any of that. I'm not looking to get a celebrity to sign my t-shirt. The only thing I need a celebrity to do for me is pray for the work that we're doing. And if God moves on him or her to contribute to that work that we're doing also. I just want to do God's will. These are God's children. I know some homeless people hustle. I know some of them are just trying to get money to get drugs. I understand all of that. I take that as a given. When you do this kind of work, you have to take it as a given that some of them are going to hustle you, some of them are going to con you. But I also know that Eva, whom I've spent hours with out on ML King in Vermont, an African-American woman who's 44 years old, is homeless for real. And she's losing her mind. And she's sleeping outside. And she smells bad. You can smell her from a mile away. And she needs help. She needs a hand up, not just a hand out. She needs psychological intervention. She needs someone to show her how to care for herself again. Excuse me. She needs my help and your help. And we can make a difference in her life. And Eva's not even, if she was on drugs, that wouldn't negate her humanity. But for the record, she's not even on drugs. Eva doesn't even drink alcohol. She's just a woman who is, if you want to say it that way, down on her luck. Some things happen in her life to divert her, and
turn left
she
onto
has
West
not been able to get back
118th
up
Street,
again.
then turn left
And
onto
some
Judith
people,
Avenue.
when you get knocked down, you just can't get back up again. If you can just get that head start, if you can just get that, and we got folk living in their mansions who don't care about them. And that's not everybody. That's not everybody. That's not everybody. Diddy lives in a mansion, but Diddy cares about people. You understand what I'm saying? Lee Daniels lives in a mansion, but Lee Daniels cares about people. You can't watch Empire and not know that Lee Daniels gives a darn. So my brothers and sisters, I reach out to you tonight and tell you to please help me to do something different, to do a different work in this city. Not just hooping and hollering on Sunday, which is fine. Not just shouting and dancing, which is fine. Dancing, which is fine. I love all of that. But let's do something for the people on Monday. Let's make a difference in their lives. We can change this world for good. Yes, we can. And so, Yes We Can Worship Center is asking Diddy. We're asking Lee Daniels. We're asking every person under the sound of my voice to please write a check to Yes We Can Worship Center. Again, Yes We Can Worship Center. If you forget the worship center part, is okay. Just make the check payable to Yes We Can. Make your check for $50,000. Make it for $5,000, $500, $350, whatever you can send. What I assure you of is that we will use this money to make a difference in the lives of homeless people. We will use this money to make a difference in the lives of drug addicts and the difference of the lives of ex-cons, people who have come out of prisons and come out of jails. We will do everything we can to make the world better for them. We will do everything we can to lift them out of the seat of poverty and to educate them and to teach them how to esteem themselves, how to develop personal hygiene habits that will prevent them from getting diseases. We will do everything we can to teach them the power of reading, the power of writing. I know that readers are leaders. There's a lot of things that we can do, but it's hard to teach a man anything when his stomach is growling. So I'm asking you, help us to help them. We can make a difference. God is in this thing. And so God told me, just make the video, make the audio, send it out there. Ask the people to get it to the people. Somebody get this to Lee Daniels. Somebody get this to P.Diddy. Somebody get this to Leah Daniels Butler. Somebody get this to Maxine Waters. Somebody get this to Karen Bass. Let them know that Sherman D. Manning is asking them. Pray for Yes We Can Worship Center. Pray for our work. And after they get through praying, please be kind enough to write a check to Yes We Can Worship Center, a storefront church on the way to becoming a mega church. Help us. We can make the world better. Yes, we can. 213-858-2608 is our number. 213-858-2608 is our number. We can help feed the hungry. We can clothe the naked. We can make the world better. We can do this. Yes, we can.